All right, let's jump right in. We are all absolutely swimming in data these days. But here's the thing. More data doesn't automatically mean more insight. In fact, a lot of the time it just means more chaos. So the big question is, how do we turn all that chaos into real clarity? Today, we're going to walk through the blueprint for modern data engineering. It's the plan for taking a messy data swamp and turning it into a well-oiled, structured system that actually delivers value.
And this is usually where the story begins. You see, the promise of the data lake was huge, right? This one single place for all your data. But as this quote points out, reality hit hard. Without any structure, those beautiful data lakes quickly turned into, well, data swamps. Just these vast, messy, unusable collections of data where all those valuable insights go to die. Sound familiar? Yeah, it's a huge headache for so many organizations. So how do we drain the swamp? Well, this is where data engineering comes in. It's the hero of our story, really. And this definition just nails it. It's not just about shuffling data from point A to point B. It's a whole professional discipline focused on building and maintaining the actual systems that turn raw, messy data into high-quality, consistent information. This is the foundation for everything that comes next, from business analytics all the way to machine learning.
Now, to get this done, engineers don't just wing it, right? They follow a master plan. So let's take a look at the high-level framework that brings some serious order to this whole process, the data engineering lifecycle. And here's what that plan looks like. The entire process gets broken down into 5 clear stages: generation, storage, ingestion, transformation, and serving. The best way to think about it is like a data refinery. You don't just get gasoline straight from the ground, right? You start with a raw crude oil, and then, step by step, you refine it into something powerful and ready to use. So it all starts with generation and storage. This is pretty straightforward. It's just about capturing that raw data from your apps, from sensors, you name it, and getting it into a reliable holding tank, like a data lake. The big goal at this stage, just get it all in one place without losing a single drop. Okay, once the raw stuff is stored, the real work starts. That's ingestion and transformation. This is where we start moving that data, and this is the crucial part, begin the refinement process. Transformation is kind of the magic step. It's where we clean up the mess and start turning that raw data into something genuinely useful.
And that brings us to the final step, serving. This is the whole point. This is the payoff. All that hard work leads to this moment, delivering clean, trusted data to your analysts, your data scientists, and your applications. This is where all that potential we talked about becomes actual, tangible value for the business.
All right, so that life cycle, that's the high-level what. But how do you actually build it? Let's talk about a super popular blueprint that modern data teams are using all over the place. It's called the Medallion architecture. Okay, this is where that refinery idea gets super clear. The Medallion architecture has 3 layers, each with a really specific job. First, you've got the bronze layer. Think of this as your crude oil storage. It's the raw, untouched data exactly as it came from the source. It's your historical archive. Next, the silver layer. Here, the data gets cleansed, standardized, maybe joined with other data. It's like your semi-refined fuel. And finally, you get to the gold layer. This is the good stuff. Aggregated, business-ready data perfectly tuned for analytics and reporting. This is your high-octane gasoline, ready to power insights. But look, even the best blueprint in the world doesn't solve every single problem you're going to run into on a daily basis. Engineers are smart, though. They don't reinvent the wheel every time. Instead, they rely on a toolkit of proven solutions called design patterns. Let me give you a classic example. It's a total nightmare for data engineers. Imagine your big nightly report is done, it's sent out, but then you find out a whole batch of data from 2 hours ago just showed up. What do? If you ignore it, your reports are wrong. This is a super, super common challenge. So what's the fix? Well, there's a pattern for that. It's called the late data integrator pattern. Instead of panicking, you have a predefined process to just rerun or backfill the data processing for that specific time window. It's a really clean, predictable way to handle what could be a totally chaotic situation and make sure your data is always complete. All right, here's another one that'll keep you up at night. Some little glitch in the system causes this same event, say a sales transaction, to get sent twice. All of a sudden, your sales numbers look 10% higher than they really are. How do you make absolutely sure you process each real event exactly one time? And you guessed it, there's a pattern for this too.
It's a clever tool called the windowed duplicator pattern. This technique scans for and gets rid of duplicate records, but it does so within a specific time window, so it's really efficient. And that is absolutely crucial, because if people can't trust your numbers, the whole system is basically worthless.
Okay, so we've got the life cycle, we've got the architecture, we've got the patterns, but what's the big picture here? What's it all for? It's really about a fundamental shift in thinking. You start treating your data not as some messy byproduct, but as a core product. And this quote from Zhamak Dehghani, who basically invented the whole data mesh concept, just nails it. The old way of doing things was to just dump all the data into one central platform owned by a single, overwhelmed team. The new way, the paradigm shift, is that each part of the business, each domain, needs to own its data and serve it up like a high-quality, easy-to-use product. It's all about decentralizing that ownership and empowering the teams who know the data best.
So what does it actually mean to treat data like a product? Well, think about it like this. First off, your users, your internal teams, have to be able to find it. That's discoverability. Then they have to be able to trust it, which means clear quality metrics. And they need to understand it, which means great documentation. And of course, it has to be addressable, meaning they can get to it easily and secure. It's really about treating your internal teams like customers who deserve a first-class experience.
Which really brings us to our final thought. All of this work, everything from draining that data swamp to building these sophisticated systems with patterns and architectures, it's all about one thing: unlocking the stories that are hidden inside your data. It's about building a system that doesn't just store data, but is actually designed to listen to it. So the question is, are you building that system?